What's up, card fighters? BOTCG here, and I wanted to profile my KHEIOS deck. This has been a long time coming. I got a lot of deck profiles on the backlog. I'm finally getting around to them now. But yeah, this deck, I'm not going to lie to you and say this deck is not Glass Cannon anymore. It is still fairly Glass Cannon. But the way that I currently have this deck built now, it's generally, you can still brick. I'm not gonna lie to you, so you can't brick, but generally it's consistent enough to the point that you can try and contest for a win on your first grade 3 ride. It ideally wants to go first. No matter what, this deck wants to go first because you just want to beat your opponent down while they're on grade 2. But your first turn push is so strong that you can contest for a win on your first turn. If not, you have enough follow-up for your second turn that on your first turn 4 Persona Ride, that is when you should be winning the game. But going off into the Highlander portion of the deck first, these are all the cards that we run at 1 of. We have 20 1-ofs in the main deck. And then, of course, 4 1-ofs in the Ride deck. But let's get on into it. We have 4 1-of DPGs. You can run the Blitz Elementaria. I choose not to because this deck generally doesn't keep too big of a hand until after you've comboed. So just having like access to a DPG at all times is fairly great for the deck. 1 of Dark States OT. I've been a really big fan of Dark States OT lately in my Dark States decks because it just gives it, like, it's good in, it's technically good anytime you check it. And it gives that added Vanguard pressure. This deck already has Vanguard pressure with the added crit, but now it gives that added Vanguard pressure where generally, like, it wasn't going to be there. 1 into Soul front, 1 20k front, 1 vanilla front, and then 1 into Soul crit, and then the rest of these guys are just vanilla crits. With the inclusion of the elemental crit, we have enough different named crits to run 8 crit in this deck, which I really like. And then 4 of different named vanilla heals. And those are all of our, let's see if I can move this up. These are all of our 1-ofs in this deck because it does care about different names, so you do want to be running like a good package of 1-ofs. If you're counting the Ride line, this is a 24 card package of 1-ofs, and then everything else in this deck we run, besides 1 card for consistency, which I'm going to get into right now, we run at max copies 4 of because you want to be as consistent as possible when playing this deck. But getting into the deck profile more, we're playing 4 copies of One Who Governs Chaos. This is your beast, bro. This is what the deck is based off of. You want to resolve this card, basically, like, you can sometimes get away with this, resolving it on turn 2, but generally you're not going to get all the added benefits on turn 2. But generally, like, on turn 3, you want to resolve this every turn. After turn 3, you want to resolve this every turn of the game. It basically, like, lets you turbo through your deck, and it lets you, like, not resurrect, but lets you call a card from Soul, which is generally Makani, and it gives 10k to the Makani. So that's really good on your first grade 3 turn, because you won't have access to Persona Ride. So it helps you hit those giant numbers, even though, the new KHEIOS will, like, pump up your board by +10. But still, yeah, 4 copies of that, and then I am... Sorry, guys. I am playing 2 copies of Song of Extolment. My reasoning for playing 2 copies of this card, this is an in-archetype card of getting... An in-archetype way of getting cards from your drop zone into Soul, and that is one thing that I struggled with this deck, was when, because of the composition of my hand and because of how my opponent was pressuring me, I was forced to discard pieces to Ride or either guard with pieces. This lets you grab those pieces back from your drop zone. This is a card that ideally you do, like, if you were forced to discard pieces, you want to resolve this on turn 2 or on your first turn 3, if at all possible. But, and it pumps up your Vanguard by 10k as well. And it goes to the bottom of deck, so it does help with deck out. But generally speaking, that is my only reason for playing this, is it's an in-archetype way of getting pieces from my drop zone back into my Soul. Yeah, so 2 copies of Extolments. I'm really happy to be playing this card. This is my first time, like, I can actually play this card, and it's actually useful in this deck. So I'm very excited to be playing this card. And then 4 copies of Avarice Rester. This is an order deck. You want to be activating an order basically every turn of the game after turn 2 or turn 3. And this is very helpful in this deck because this basically with the new KHEIOS, this gives you like unadulterated access to your orders like all the time. This is like, these are extra copies, so this you have 6 Entolments. You have 8 one who governs chaos because of this order and KHEIOS. Because when you ride KHEIOS, you can soul charge 3. You may soul charge 3, and then you can choose 2 cards. 1 goes to hand, and then 1 goes to board from your soul. So you can grab this from your soul back to your hand and then call it, discard a card to be able to get your order. And I really liked that play pattern. And this just gives you added consistency in seeing your order because this is an order deck, so you really do need these orders in order to play the game. 4 copies of Go Ahead Makani, nothing much to say here. He counts as different names in Soul, and he gets you Big Brother Makani out of Soul, the bread and butter of the deck. And then 4 copies of Misdeeds Dragon. Misdeeds Dragon is what lets you, doesn't matter if your opponent is grade 3 or not, this lets you, no matter what, be able to Superior Ride into Ontario KHEIOS. So this is like another thing that's just like very necessary for the deck because you do want to be on Ontario by turn 3. If you're not, you're probably losing that game, unfortunately. But yeah, we're maxing out on all the cards that we need. And then 4 copies of Agda. Agda is like a really slept on supplemental piece of this deck. Not only on call does he plus you a card into hand and adds a card to soul from your deck, but in Soul, when you call him a Canny, you can discard a card, soul charge 1, call this from Soul, and he gains boost. So not only is he like a card that like helps you dig through your deck for your pieces, but also when you do have your combo, he's a necessary booster for your combo lines. Then getting on to our grade 3s, 4 copies of Ontario KHEIOS, Soul Ontario KHEIOS. He's the deck. You need 4 copies of him, even though you can Superior Ride him because of like the mass soul charging you do. And then 4 copies of Go Ahead Makani. And this is the deck, guys. This is the deck. I'm not gonna go into the not like the Thegria video, into the KHEIOS lines, just because that would be a way more time consuming. Like, if you want to see how this deck operates, I do have match videos of, like, I think 3 match videos I'm playing it on the channel, to where I'm not winning all of those matches, but you see me perform the complete combo in at least 2 out of 3 of those matches. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, guys. I'm uploading these backloaded deck profiles until I can get set 7 content out for you. So, later.